Our Kratom industry. Our Kratom industry is an eroding change from the core and on. There are some people who are thinking and believing that the industry itself is moving as they always known and knew, and to a degree, there are people still operating within the old way. For anyone who is wanting longevity, for anyone who is wanting the full chain of custody within the Kratom industry, for anyone is wanting to know where and how, and with the confidence that their Kratom, that their raw material is free from adulterants, is free from heavy metal, right? It's gamma, basically food grade, so, and it's 100% Kratom. That's been a problem, from my understanding, especially a few years back. The truth or the situation is, the truth in the situation is that the farmers over there in Indonesia got divided and conquered so badly that with the prices, they couldn't even afford to have 100% Kratom. So now when you guys are fucking, complaining about prices, and it's 2025, and you're still trying to get over here in the United States a $5 kilo, you're the fucking problem, my man. You are the issue. You are part of what is dividing, not even has divided the industry. Divide and conquer over there. So that's what actually helped brew today's regulations. So for those who are still operating that way, that's okay. Because as the government of Indonesia settles more in, after the government every 6 months reevaluates the contracts that they do have, and they see who is importing and this and that, BNN is involved in this Kratom regulations from Indonesia. BNN is the equivalent of Indonesia's FDA, DEA. They work with pharmaceutical. There's a fee. There's things that they're part of. That's part of the trade. So that's just, I assume things are going to, how you say, really change when the authorities of Indonesia shut down the black market of Kratom. So that's brewing. And even though it's only on that side right now, over here in the United States, for those who are working, for those who are actively putting in place the platform to be here in our industry, there's the Kratom Consumer Protection Act, from my understanding, that most states are adopting and modifying. But there's a push for a federal Kratom Consumer Protection Act. I personally wouldn't mind the FDA being the true oversight of Kratom, especially for those who are tapping into the drug version of what could be done, the drug industry, what could be done with the plant itself. I think it's better for the industry to, within their jurisdiction, to operate the way they need to file and get licensed, maybe not licensed, but the drug grade. Anyone who is going towards that drug grade officially, that's the future. I could see Kratom being something very similar to the raw coca industry but then as a hybrid, also something very similar to the coffee industry and the raw cocoa industry. Kratom, not even the prediction, just the direction things are going with Kratom. There's food grade Kratom that involves the FDA. There's, as is, the dietary supplement industry, which requires the GMP, things and things like that, of the quality of the paper trail. And those who actually have the FDA GMP certifications are, how you say, cream of the crop, I would say. And then there's the drug grade part of what is made from the extracts of kratom. And like I said, for those who are acting like drug dealers, or even if they are preparing the routes and the direction to be within their drug grade, that comes with military grade contracts, that comes with pharmaceutical grade contracts. And I believe that there's people within the industry, and I know that they are preparing for that. And you'd be surprised who was preparing for that. Imagine lawsuits being pushed to an industry for them to do the right thing, for them to operate within their jurisdiction. That, from my understanding, that's what the attacks are when it comes to the 7-OH, besides the lack of science and the risk scenario of the end user consuming and addiction. Possibilities are a lot higher when what's isolated is part of the compound, how you say, that the FDA was saying that leads to addiction. So in a push for this industry for innovation and something more potent, something more stronger, we are in the midst of what we are in, which is, to be honest, divine. The kratom industry is truly at its infancy, no matter how long you've been here. And just to think, there's millions and millions of trees being planted for a project that about 90% of the world don't know. Kratom is 1/3 part of a bigger project called the Green Fund. And Kratom tree itself is a monster when it comes to, how you say, scrubbing this world of CO2 and carbon emissions and things like that. 95% of this industry is fighting over a fraction of what's possible. Though it's a $1.5 billion industry, by 2029, it'll be $5-6 billion. Those who can, will.